So if you're like me, you always have that special bottle of water with you when you're at work, when home, the gym, wherever it may be. You've got that overpriced bottle that you just bought from the gas station or your local grocery store, and you're really not sure what kind of benefits that it provides. Well, here's a water that I can guarantee you has benefits to your health. And that is alkaline water, specifically Netsch alkaline water. But what exactly is alkaline water? Well, it's ionized water, and it's specifically been altered in a water ionizer to raise the pH from neutral to pH 9 or more. So these benefits of alkaline water, just some of the health benefits that you can see, are improved memory, clearer skin, weight loss, detoxification, better digestion, stabilizing of a diabetic blood sugar, increased energy and mental clarity, and the list goes on. So where can you get this? Well, it's pretty simple. Go to NetschAlkalineWater.com. That's Netsch, spelled Neitch, alkalinewater.com. They just launched about 3 weeks ago. You can also check them out on Instagram at NetschWater. Again, that's spelled Neitch water. Go check them out and give yourself the health benefits of Netsch Alkaline Water. Check them out at NetschAlkalineWater.com right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's AEW Dynamite review show here on the unofficial WWE podcast. Today is Thursday, September 30th, 2021. My name is Mimi Burris, and we are going to get into everything that went down last night with the awesome opening match, a new TNT champion, and the women's division. We got some good stuff coming up in the next week or so, but we're going to get into all of it right after this.
Championship means that much. I can't believe what we're seeing here.
DMD. All right, everybody, we are going to get into everything that took place last night on Dynamite, which emanated from none other than Rochester, New York, obviously hometown of Brody Lee, a.k.a. John Huber, who obviously tragically passed away last year. I think it was right around, it was Boxing Day, right after Christmas. And I just want to make a quick mention that, you know, a lot of us, obviously, as wrestling fans, probably most of us listening to this podcast right now, or I know I do, I can remember exactly where I was when I found out the news. I couldn't believe it. And, you know, a great man obviously taken from us way too soon. Obviously, thoughts and prayers always go out to his family, and we saw a little bit of them on this show tonight. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff, but there's really not a lot to analyze, and you're going to probably find that out as we go through this show, other than just saying that it's just nice. Some of this stuff is just nice. So, however, let's just start at the top of the show. But before we get into CM Punk's wonderful entrance, as it always is in every town that they go to, we are quickly going to talk about Patreon, because, guys, we are on Patreon for $1 a month here. All this stuff ad-free. There's a bunch of other tiers as well. However, if you hate ads, I hate ads. You can get all these shows on the unofficial WWE podcast, including my show on the review Dynamite thing that I do, and NXT review with Zach Smith. You got Matt's Raw review and the Weekend review, usually with a co-host. We got a bunch of awesome co-hosts on here, too. All these wonderful shows, Michael Ritter, SmackDown. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff, but all of it ad-free on Patreon. $1 a month. That's all you got to spend to get all this ad-free. The other option as well is we're on iTunes. I think it's about $2.99 a month that if you just aren't a fan of Patreon, you can subscribe on iTunes for that low fee to get all of these shows ad-free, as well as some exclusive shows on top of that. So, with all that out of the way, guys, let's get into it. Cult of Personality plays. CM Punk comes out, and he is on the announce booth, obviously now becoming a 4-man booth, for the entire night. And honestly, I said it last time CM Punk was on commentary, and I'll say it again. He's great. He's CM Punk. He really is the best at everything the man does. So, for the most part, I enjoyed it. There were a couple things that I would have you didn't need to be talking there, or you didn't need to say something there, or that was weird. But for the most part, he 100% added to the show. So, And in regards to him just like feeling it up, every time he gets out there in every new town, not feeling it up, soaking it up. Hopefully he's not feeling it up. In regards to him soaking it up in every town that Dynamite does travel to and emanates from, I'm loving it. I'm not getting sick of it. It's, the reaction is just as loud in every town. I mean, maybe, at Arthur Ashe, it was a little bit louder, but I'm a little biased there. So, yeah, it was just nice to see CM Punk again. It was nice to hear him throughout the night, and I'm just glad he is like a regular part of Rampage and Dynamite. And, speaking of which, I did want to quickly mention in regards to the 2-hour Rampage show, obviously we don't do a Rampage review show. I'd love to do that. I'd love for one of my co-hosts on here or another co-host to take that, just because it'd be nice to get some separate and differing opinions on what goes on in all of AEW's programming. However, I do want to quickly mention, because it was a big 2-hour show and I was there live, which was incredible. For the most part, guys, I thought the show was pretty great. The women's match was what it was, but the opening match with CM Punk, I enjoyed that match more than I enjoyed the Darby Allin match, and I said that might be a little bit biased there because I was scarfing down some nachos and I was so hungry, and so the two things combined just made a very happy Mimi at the moment, I guess. But that main event was something, it was a little bit hokey and corny, and, I say that, and a man was getting, like, hung with a belt and whipped with a belt, but it was very spot festy. However, it was nice to hear Eddie Kingston get the reaction he obviously deserves in New York City, and a bunch of that 6-man tag. I told Ashley last week, it was the most fun match to be there live, though we were there for like 5 hours, if not more, 6 hours, watching a lot of wrestling TV. And I still popped for a lot of that stuff in that match. That match brought me out of my seat almost the entire time. And obviously the 8-man tag match was really great as well. So I just wanted to make a couple quick mentions there. It was super cool to be right near all those awesome UFC fighters who came to the ring and beat the crap out of Jake Hager and Chris Jericho. And we're going to get into talking about that later on in the show. So let's just get into the actual show itself and start with our opening match, which was none other than Adam Cole, baby, versus Jungle Boy. And guys, I'm never going to get sick of that pop, probably, and that crowd just yelling after Adam Cole says his whole thing and does his whole thing, and we just hear Adam Cole, baby. Every time I get chills because he's been in that NXT Performance Center for so long, or whatever it's called, Capitol Wrestling Center or something. I don't know. Now it's like the Rainbow Center. No slight on you, Zach Smith. Enjoy your NXT 2.0. However, really just love hearing Adam Cole's entrance music, Adam Cole's entrance as a whole. Right after Cole's personality, the only person who could probably follow that up with reaction-wise at least is Adam Cole. And then the only person who could follow him up is Jungle Boy. It's just always great to hear the crowd singing Jungle Boy's theme as well. It was really cool to be a part of that. And this match was incredible. I mean, these two guys told a great story of both kind of being on the same level for most of the match. There were some really great spots with the Poison Rana. And guys, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that was one of the best near falls I've seen in like a decade. Off the Panama Sunrise. I know that he doesn't usually, quote unquote, get the job done with that move, but I bid on it, and I had just the same exact look on my face that Adam Cole did when it was amazing kick out. When Jungle Boy kicked out at like 2 7/8 is the fraction I'm going with today for some reason. So not much other to say than this was an amazing opening match. Brought me back to the Hangman Page opening matches that we used to get at Daly's Place. Really, the crowd was into it the entire time. And Adam Cole, who does such a great job of coming in. Obviously, the crowd's 50-50 throughout most of the match, or at least in the beginning. And then as the match slowly goes on, we hear more boos for Adam Cole, more cheers for Jungle Boy. And it's just like, I think Adam Cole, similar to Britt Baker, is going to be able to keep the catchphrases, the cool entrance, everything like that, but the way he is able to be such a good heel, right, and the way he's able to wrestle and tell such an amazing story in the ring and get the crowd booing him by the end of it, I think I don't mean to make the comparison between him and Britt Baker, but it is very similar. I think actually Adam Cole probably at a higher level of this, in ability-wise at least, to be able to turn the crowd on him throughout the match, and I thought he did a great job at that and making sure that Jungle Boy was the clear babyface and there was a clear babyface heel dynamic in this match. So The only slight I will give on it, guys, is that finish. We saw Miro do that at All Out with Eddie Kingston. I feel like they've been doing a lot of low blow. They've been really leaning hard on that low blow, and I'd rather see just Adam Cole go over clean. And I know it is kind of clean. Maybe it's not clean. I don't know. I'd rather Adam Cole just be the better man than to have to do the low blow stuff, or the turnbuckle stuff or all that. I'm just give me clean finishes, AEW. This is a company that's supposed to give me clean, decisive finishes. To me, it takes away from, Jungle Boy didn't lose anything in this match, and I don't think he would have lost anything too if he had just lost without a low blow, without funny turnbuckle stuff, without distracting referees, without outside interference, without all of that. I just need some clean finishes, guys, and we're going to talk about that later on in the show as well. But overall, I can't really complain other than that. This match was incredible, exhilarating. I mentioned the Poison Rana spot already. And yeah, the back and forth and the crowd really carrying this match as well. I mean, this probably would have done great in an empty arena, and it was just, icing on the cake that we got to have the crowd as into it as they were. This crowd was great and hot for this opening match. So post-match, we had the rest of the Elite come out. Obviously, the Super Elite now come to celebrate Adam Cole's victory. And when we come back from commercial break, Carl Anderson is on the microphone, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, talking about how to be elite, you have to be the Impact World Tag Team Champions, you have to be Adam Cole, you have to be the AEW World Champion, or you have to be the greatest tag team that's ever stepped foot in a ring, the Young Bucks. Even though they're not tag team champs anymore, they're still EVPs. Then Adam Cole starts talking about how he's undefeated, obviously 2-0 now, beating Frankie Kazarian and now Jungle Boy. And he says he'd beat Jungle Boy. He said he was going to beat Jungle Boy, and then he did. And yeah, like I said, that makes him undefeated. Nick Jackson says that we're going to have the best promo in all of wrestling, and then hands the microphone to Michael Nakazawa, who only gets the word silence out when the crowd starts chanting CM Punk. Or shut up or something. And then Kenny Omega says that his telephone's been ringing off the hook all week. His social media has been filled to the brim of people telling him the same thing over and over, that his match against Bryan Danielson was the greatest match they'd ever seen. And I really like this part, guys. He basically said, he no-sold it. He was like, that's great. I don't really care about that, because yeah, we're not caring about how good the match is. That's not the point of all of this. It's winning and winning championships and winning matches. That's the point of this. That's why they have the ranking system. That's why they have all that great stuff. But I like that he acknowledged it and then really said, like, yeah, I don't really, that's not the point. He says that's cool. Danielson took him to the limit, cashed in on his promise, and kicked his head in. But there's only one problem. He couldn't get the job done when it counted. And he says that he has a 0 record in AEW, and he's never going to see Kenny Omega face-to-face in that ring ever again. Enter Bryan Danielson, who obviously we all kind of saw coming out. And he asked the crowd if they want to see the rematch against Kenny Omega. Obviously, we get a bunch of yes chants. And he says, obviously, Kenny doesn't want to do that because he's Kenny No Balls Omega. We got a bunch of No Balls chants. We got Kenny No Balls chants. And he says he wants to see if anybody in the Elite have any balls. And he challenges any of them to a match on Rampage. Essentially, Kenny says, why don't we fight right now? And then because Bryan Danielson is a smart baby face, he says, okay, but I didn't come alone. We get the usual cavalry coming out. Frankie Kazarian, Frankie Kazarian, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, or maybe Jungle Boy wasn't there. Marco Stunt's really, was the key factor here. And all of the Elite obviously run out of the ring, say, we're not doing this today. However, we do get a announcement that we are getting Nick Jackson versus Bryan Danielson on Rampage this Friday that I will not be able to watch live, guys, because my lovely fiance and friends are taking me out for a dinner to celebrate a very special day, which is tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, I'm jealous of anybody who's going to get to watch this match live, because Nick Jackson versus Bryan Danielson is going to be freaking incredible. And I'm not going to swear on this podcast because I don't have the time to go back and edit it. So yeah, it's going to be freaking incredible, guys. And I'm really going to be rushing home Friday night to watch that. However, getting to this match, I don't know, this whole promo train thing didn't really work for me. I thought it was a little convoluted. I thought it was a little bit too long. I thought we've seen this whole thing again. I'm kind of sick of seeing the same brawl or lack thereof over and over and over again. I think we probably could have just announced the 8-man tag that I think we're getting on Dynamite next week, and we probably could have just announced a match on Rampage and then had some kind of backstage quick promos or something. I just didn't need all this. I thought this was a little bit too much. However, Michael Nakazawa popped me, so I'll take it. And then when we came back, we have Andrade El Idolo rolling up on the interview because nobody can ever just have an interview in AEW. It's always got to be interrupted by somebody. So the Lucha Bros are being interviewed, and Andrade comes up and asks where Pac is. He says that while the Lucha Brothers congratulates them on the win for the AEW World Tag Team titles, but says that they haven't defended their AAA Tag Team Championships in a long time. He says he's got many luchador friends who would be happy to take them away with him, and the Lucha Bros say that they'll defend them anytime, anywhere, because they have what? Zero miedo. And, I mean, if it gets me Rey Fenix and Andrade in a ring, and Penta as well, I don't care who the fourth person is, honestly, and I'm sure I'm going to be... I have low expectations, honestly, guys, because Andrade just really hasn't been doing it for me. That Pac match really didn't redeem, no pun intended, Miro didn't come and redeem Andrade for me in that. So I'm really just been disappointed in what I've been seeing from Andrade so far in AEW, or the lack thereof, and I hope that this match bangs whenever it happens, wherever it happens. I will be tuning in for sure. So the next match we got was Dante Martin and Matt Seidel versus the Nightmare Family, including Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson. They come out, obviously, and Arn Anderson tells Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson that he wants Lee Johnson to start in the match. Cody Rhodes basically says, screw you, goes in, starts the match, gets his butt whooped a little bit. Then Lee Johnson finally tags Lee Johnson in. Long story go away, guys. I mean, there was an amazing, awesome action. I mean, you had Dante Martin, Lee Johnson, Cody Rhodes, and Matt Seidel on a ring. You knew you were going to get some awesome spots. Some of them were during the commercial break, the picture-in-picture too. And if you want me to pay attention AEW during a picture-in-picture break, just give me Dante Martin, because I will not take my eyes off what that guy's going to do in the ring. An incredible senton outside the ring, obviously, during that picture-in-picture, like I said. And towards the end of the match, Cody Rhodes is getting his butt whooped, and Lee Johnson literally drags him from the tights, brings him into the corner, makes the tag, kicks some butt on Dante Martin, and gets the pinfall with the cross-legged brainbuster over his knee on Dante Martin, like I said. So post-match, they're all going to be interviewed, Arn Anderson, Cody Rhodes, and Lee Johnson, by Tony Schiavone. And Cody Rhodes says that he knows this audience waited a long time for the show, and he calls out Malachi Black right now. He wants him right now. And Arn Anderson tells him to stop talking, because on July 7th, Malachi Black came into their life, and he has systematically beaten every single one of the Nightmare Factory or family, whatever they are. The first time, he totally destroyed Cody Rhodes and had Cody Rhodes taking off his boot and leaving it in the ring, and he's saying, we didn't talk about that, what the heck are you doing? And the second time, Cody Rhodes is getting rolling, and he's ready to finish Malachi Black off, which isn't completely true, but, and then he goes outside the ring and starts worrying about Arn Anderson. He should have won that match, not worried about Arn Anderson. And the difference between Cody Rhodes and Malachi Black is that Black is an assassin and a predator, and he will do anything to beat his opponent. And he'd step in and take the fight, but he's just too damn old, he being Arn Anderson. But the difference between the difference between Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes is that this was the line, guys. This was the line that is still circulating on social media. That if Cody Rhodes ever got carjacked, he'd step aside and let the man take his car away. If Arn Anderson got carjacked, he'd pull out a Glock and turn the tables and put the Glock up to his forehead or something along those lines. Essentially, Arn Anderson saying he'd just whip a freaking Glock out and shoot a guy if he ever tried to carjack him. And then he turns away, takes Lee Johnson away, and say he's not going to coach a loser anymore, and leaves Cody Rhodes staying in the ring by himself. yeah, this segment was weird, guys. And like I mentioned, the match was great, obviously. And I honestly thought if I were booking this, obviously, and I'm not saying that I have any, Tony Khan is great at doing what it does. I just thought in my head the way this was going to go was Dante Martin was going to get some kind of roll-up pin on Cody Rhodes, and that's how this whole thing was going to start to spark a little bit. Cody Rhodes is going to get too arrogant, too something, too distracted. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to hear like Malachi Black's music hitting and then him being distracted. I know I just talked about no more distraction finishes, but I just thought maybe Dante Martin would get a big victory over Cody Rhodes. However, I was fine with this too, this ending and Cody Rhodes just kind of really coming off like a prick. I just didn't expect Arn Anderson to suddenly start talking about pulling out a Glock on somebody. Just didn't call that one coming. This is definitely not the same guy who bumbled and fell off the ring apron on Grand Slam. So, I kind of see where they're going with this, and I appreciate that they're acknowledging the heel turn, but a couple of things kind of went through my mind during this promo, and besides just picturing Arn Anderson whipping out a Glock, I was thinking about, see, now I said it out loud, guys, and I can't get the picture out of my head. I thought maybe Cody Rhodes was acknowledging the fact that he's being booed out of every building now and trying to get some sympathy on himself with this whole thing that they had going on with Arn Anderson and Lee Johnson kind of bailing on him. I doubt that's the case. That was just one thought that went through my head. I know Cody Rhodes really doesn't kind of believe in wrestling as a heel or a face. He's not very black or white like that. He likes to live in the gray area, and similar why he enters through the middle and not through either little tube circle thing. Why can't I think of what they're called? You know what I'm talking about. So I don't think that's the case. I would like to think he's just doing a real slow burn of turning heel. I almost felt like they could have done this like, 1 week and then had them another week on Dynamite, or maybe even Rampage, and had something like a miscommunication happen again, and kind of even like, I wouldn't have even minded a slower burn with all of this, because I'm intrigued, guys. This is one of the biggest storylines. I'm intrigued on what's going to happen next with Cody Rhodes. What's he going to do? Is he going to turn full heel? Is he going to join the Elite? Is he going to beat up Lee Johnson? Is he going to have a feud with Lee Johnson? Is he going to black mass Arn Anderson in the head and join Malachi Black? I don't know. I'm really excited to see where they go next with this. I didn't expect Arn Anderson to talk about pulling out a Glock. That kind of threw me off. But nonetheless, I'm intrigued. They've got me on the hook for next week, and that is the point of episodic television. So whatever this was, it worked for me. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. What would you like to see Cody Rhodes do next? Do you think Cody Rhodes is acknowledging the heel turn? Do you think he's going to continue to try to be this tweener? I don't know.
Stay right there. The WWE podcast will return after this quick break.
So if you're like me, you always have that special bottle of water with you when you're at work, when home, the gym, wherever it may be. You've got that overpriced bottle that you just bought from the gas station or your local grocery store, and you're really not sure what kind of benefits that it provides. Well, here's a water that I can guarantee you has benefits to your health. And that is alkaline water, specifically Netsch alkaline water. But what exactly is alkaline water? Well, it's ionized water, and it's specifically been altered in a water ionizer to raise the pH from neutral to pH 9 or more. So these benefits of alkaline water, just some of the health benefits that you can see, are improved memory, clearer skin, weight loss, detoxification, better digestion, stabilizing of a diabetic blood sugar, increased energy and mental clarity, and the list goes on. So where can you get this? Well, it's pretty simple. Go to NetschAlkalineWater.com. That's Netsch, spelled Neitch, alkalinewater.com. They just launched about 3 weeks ago. You can also check them out on Instagram at NetschWater. Again, that's spelled Neitch water. Go check them out and give yourself the health benefits of Netsch Alkaline Water. Check them out at NetschAlkalineWater.com right now.
Welcome back to the WWE podcast. Let's get back to more great wrestling audio.
All right, next up we had Anthony Green and Bear Country versus Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and Jon Moxley. And realistically, guys, we could copy and paste my thoughts on this match to any of the other matches that this trio between Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and Jon Moxley have been doing for how long. It's like a house show. It's a glorified house show match, and Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and Jon Moxley get the pin on Anthony Green with the Violent Crown from Moxley and Kingston. And yeah, I don't know. I really have nothing to say about this, guys. Post-match, Sting hits a Scorpion Death drop on Anthony Green because baby faces beat up the people after. I don't know. I'm giving a lot of leeway on this, guys, but I'm kind of sick of this house show match, and I really don't feel like I need to put any more time on it. I understand every town wants to see these, particularly these three guys, and we got a little more Darby Allin later on in the night, but I don't know. It's just, I'm ready to see Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley start doing something or going away for a while. I mean, Moxley just had a kid. I wouldn't mind if he was off TV for a while. Go be a dad for a while, you know? Make me miss you is always what I say. You don't always need to be injured to take a break from TV for a bit. So, yeah, I don't feel like there's any direction in this, and they're just throwing out the same trios match with a different set of faces on the other side of the ring. This is like the 5th time it's happened, if I'm correct. So, between Rampage and Dynamite at least. We get a video package from Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, obviously highlighting the defense of her title against Ruby Soho last week. And then we have Hardy Family Office. We have the Hardy Family Office in the ring, and Matt Hardy is talking about how he was supposed to debut in Rochester, New York last year, but fortunately that got deleted because Rochester is an awful town that produces awful people and doesn't deserve a legend like Big Money Matt Hardy. I wish Matt Hardy would get deleted off my 2 hours of Dynamite every week. But this match next, we had the 16-man tag match or something like that. It was the Dark Order and Orange Cassidy versus the Hardy Family Office. And yeah, guys, I mean, for the most part, this was kind of a spot fest. And we had the Dark Order not getting along right away, but we had, obviously, -1. Both Ty Conti and Anna Jade come out with none other than Amanda Huber, and they all yell at them. We got -1 throwing the papers at them, tell them to get their stuff together, send Evil Uno and Stu Grayson or whoever was out there back, Colt Cabana to help the rest of the Dark Order. They all hit a bunch of moves, and the Dark Order and Orange Cassidy get the pinfall with a lateral press from John Silver. And the Dark Order stand tall in the ring and celebrate in Brody Lee's memory, putting -1 on 10's shoulders. 10, obviously, -1's favorite wrestler. And it was a really nice moment. And I'm not really going to analyze the match much or after the moment, guys. I mean, after the match, it was what it was. And it's just a nice thing to do. It's a nice company. And we acknowledge a man who lost his life way too early, who was a legend in the short amount of time that we got to see him wrestle. So we're going to talk about that later on, even in the show as well. So we got a Lio Rush video package where he says Tony Khan's been hitting him up for months to see if he'll be all elite, and here he is. He's not retiring, apparently. I thought he had retired, but you can also call him LBO because he does leveraged buyouts to make his money, and that's true success, and then a bunch of other stuff about being a businessman, and I didn't follow it, and this didn't work for me. Whatever this was didn't work, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Lio Rush can do because it's been a while since I've seen him in the ring, and he had a lot of incredible matches in NXT in that non-existent cruiserweight division for a while. But yeah, this was weird to me. I didn't get it, but I'm just excited for Lio Rush and happy to see that he still wants to wrestle, and he's not going to retire at the young age of, I don't know how old he is, but let's look it up as I'm talking here and filling air. Lio Rush is... It says retired June 8th, 2021. No, that Wikipedia, you got to update your stuff. Yeah, he's only 26 years old. So I'm excited to see what Lio Rush can do. Lio Rush is my height. That's wild. You know how some of these guys look really small? Like, total sidetrack here, guys. But Rey Mysterio is actually a lot. I guarantee you, right now I'm going to ask you, how tall do you think Rey Mysterio... Oh, never mind. I was wrong. Rey Mysterio is 5'6" as well. I thought these guys, I just remember thinking like, oh, these guys are actually not that small. They just look that small compared to all these other people. But no, Lio Rush is actually like my height. Not that I'm short, but I'm a good average height, I think. 5'6", right? I don't know how we got on that topic. But when we come back from commercial break after that nice Brody Lee moment, we have Dan Lambert in the ring with the Men of the Year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Gets on the mic, talks about Jorge Masvidal. Jorge's knee, the Jorge knee is what we're going to call it on this podcast, because I'm going to mess up that last name all the time, even though I know who that is, guys. Jorge Masvidal. Jorge's knee on Chris Jericho. I'm sure it's on. He says, "I'm sure it's on Chris Jericho's mind," and he's looking at the plastic surgeon to get that knee removed from his head, or I don't know, something along those lines. He puts Chris Jericho over, though, talking about how he is responsible for a lot of AEW's success, and then he says his story has a lot happier of an ending than a millennial's night at home in his mom's basement, because Y2J got confronted with American Top Team and they put his career to an end. He says that he'll never wrestle, he'll never make another fuzzy record, and they've chopped off the head of AEW Snake and make Tony Khan's job of selling snake oil even harder. Then we get a promo from Scorpio Sky. He talks about how about a year ago he stood in the ring and looked at that camera and asked if we were paying attention, the fans. And he was one of the first champions in the company. I think it was a tag champion, if I'm correct. And he won. He's got a killer win-loss record, and he even won that giant Sonic ring. And that all still wasn't good enough. I'm really happy he acknowledged it as a Sonic ring, because I was thinking of that the entire time as well. And then we got Ethan Page cutting a promo. He says that the crowd isn't paying attention because they look past guys like him and Scorpio Sky, because they don't swear, they don't throw their middle fingers up, and they don't wear faux leather. He's never been pinned or submitted in AEW, and he's still overlooked. But they're not going to get overlooked any longer, because he dresses, talks, and wrestles like a champ. He said something about how he has like the best smile in the game and the tightest tits in the game, something like that. It was a great line. Great promo from Ethan Page. And now he rolls with champions. American Top Team and Men of the Year are the top team. And guys, I'll say that this was the best promo yet from Dan Lambert. And I'm just glad that Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page got to get on the microphone, honestly. I really don't think they need Dan Lambert. I think Ethan Page is a great promo. I think Ethan Page is so talented, guys. I really just want to see more of Ethan Page. I want to see him in a title picture eventually. I want to see him in storylines that elevate him. I thought the Darby Allin one was great, and I thought he was really incredible in that feud. It was so short, though. I felt like that was so short-lived, which is usually a good thing sometimes, you know what I mean? It leaves us wanting more, but I don't know about Scorpio Sky, guys, but you've heard me sing the praises of Ethan Page every single week on this show. I thought this was a good promo, one of the best from Scorpio Sky I've seen. The alignment still doesn't make sense to me with Dan Lambert, but I feel like there's finally a direction here, so I will run with it, and I like this segment a lot. I just don't need the Dan Lambert promos on, how millennials or whatever, and it doesn't anger me. It's just like, it's repetitive. It's redundant at this point to me every single week. So next up, we got Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb video package to build their match for next week. We're talking about Hikaru Shida's possible 50th win. I'm a little upset about this. I'm glad Hikaru Shida is getting on Dynamite television. Like, where the heck has she been? And I'm really glad Serena Deeb's back, guys. Right, we are Deeb supporters. If you are listening to this podcast, you better be supporting Serena Deeb, because that woman is one of the greatest wrestlers, period, male, female, whatever you identify as, in the world. So I'm just so happy we're going to get to see her return on Dynamite next week. However, the reason I was a little upset is because I assume Hikaru Shida is going to go over, and I just really want to see Serena Deeb go over and Serena Deeb challenge for bigger for the AEW Women's Championship, but I will be patient because I know that that's coming eventually. So, yeah, I think Hikaru Shida is going over. Why else would they announce it's going to be her 50th win, and then what? She's going to have her 50th win on Dark? It just doesn't make sense to me. So, we had Penelope Ford and the Bunny versus Anna Jay and Ty Conti next. Same kind of thing, guys. We've seen this match in every variation besides the actual tag team match up to this point. Just repetitive, redundant stuff. It was nice to see the Ty Conti fire up spot for a little bit with the elbows and the super kick and double cross body, suplex, double suplex. A couple of good spots in this match that I took note of. But however, for the most part, I mean, I'm just glad this is over. But Anna Jay and Ty Conti win by submission with the body scissors sleeper from Anna Jay on Penelope Ford. Post-match, we get another just nice moment of -1 sliding in, hugging Ty Conti and Anna Jay. The commentary talks about how Ty Conti is really, really close with -1, and it was just another nice moment. So, the match wasn't for me, but the post-match was, again, just more, anything we can do to continue to honor Brody Lee and Brody Lee's legacy in Dynamite and, in AEW and just as a person, period. A lot of announcements about that John Huber Foundation. I'm all for it. So I will never complain about that kind of stuff. We got another video package for Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose versus Thunder Rosa on Rampage this Friday, and I'm looking forward to that match, guys. I assume Jade Cargill's going over. That's my early prediction for you, so... And next we got MJF coming down to the ring to cut a promo. And guys, I need to take a sip of water before we get into this one. So MJF does his MJF thing once again. He comes into the ring with Wardlow and says that they are on the precipice of something truly spectacular in AEW as they continue to gain more momentum. And he hates to admit it, but there are 4 pillars of young men who lead this company forward. Jungle Boy, beat him. Sammy Guevara, beat him. Darby Allin, whatever, I don't want to talk about it. And then the strongest and most important pillar, himself. He talks about this because, quite frankly, without him, this company isn't you-know-what. And he's past the present. He is the past, present, and future of AEW, and that's why he deserves to be AEW World Champion. He says that all of the Khans in pro wrestling, Tony Khan is easily in his top 2. But he is a friend back in the day from his MLW days. He's got Bruce Pritchard on speed dial. And so if he doesn't get the opportunities he deserves, he's going to maybe ring up Bruce Pritchard. Darby Allin comes down to the ring. MJF says, what a great line this was. He says he loves his whole school shooter mime on a skateboard vibe, but he doesn't appreciate him interrupting him, and there's nothing wrong with being the second best guy. Some of the best number 2 guys are incredible. He brings up, Scottie Pippen, Luke Gehrig, a bunch of other guys, and then he says, Sting, your good buddy Sting. But he's Wayne Gretzky, he's Babe Ruth, he's Michael Jordan. Hint, hint, Michael Jordan, I don't know. I might be looking too much into this, guys, but Michael Jordan, the whole Chicago comparison CM Punk was getting when he first made his debut, just, might be planting a seed there, I don't know. And Darby Allin asks if he's done talking yet. He says if MJF wants to leave, then he can have what he wants. He should just go. But Darby Allin is AEW for life until death. And how can he be the number 1 pillar if Darby Allin is the one who's won a title between the both of them? And Max said, out of all of them, I guess, until later on in that night. And MJF says he respects Allin for being straight edge. Well, first of all, he has a great line about Batman. All right, like a cool Batman voice, bro. And then he says he respects Darby Allin for being straight edge, but do people know why Darby Allin is actually straight edge? And then he tells that very, very sad story we all know about his uncle. That when Darby Allin was younger, he got into the car with his drunken uncle, drunken sloppy alcoholic uncle, as MJF put it. And they got into an accident, and his uncle died. And then moment of silence, guys. MJF says some stuff that only this man can get away with. He says, and you know what? The wrong guy died that night. MJF tries provoking him into hitting him, says, you gonna hit me? You gonna hit me? And Darby Allin says that MJF will not break him mentally, and if he's got anything else to add, now's the time. MJF says he's done here. He and Wardlow walk out. And yeah, guys, MJF has done it again. I mean, he said metheny. He pulled another metheny, essentially. And I'm sure, as we all already know this, that Darby Allin's given him some kind of permission to talk about this kind of stuff. We all know that. And that is why MJF is so brilliant. The man knows where the line is, and he doesn't cross it. He doesn't talk about stuff that he knows he shouldn't be talking about. He gets just that line and always, always, always gets heat on himself. He, in my opinion, guys, is the greatest heel in wrestling right now. And the greatest heel in wrestling we've had for a really long time. I don't care about your Roman Reigns arguments. I want you to find me a match. No, I'm not even gonna go. I'm not even gonna entertain it. I'm not even gonna go down that road, guys. I'm saying it though. MJF is the best heel in professional wrestling. Honestly, I didn't think this was his best promo yet. I thought the content was a lot better than the delivery, and I don't think that's necessarily on MJF. Darby Allin felt really awkward to me here. And again, Darby Allin isn't for me, guys. We've talked about this before. I'm subjectively not for me. I don't know. I think the stuff that he does is incredible. I just don't. something misses, doesn't hit there for me. However, I'm not stupid, and objectively I can see how over and what a draw Darby Allin is, and that he gets numbers and all this other stuff. So I'm really excited for where this feud is going to go. And that escalated so quickly. I just didn't see that one coming. However, I will say that on the podcast with Ashley Mann, I think I did call this one. So give myself a little credit on that one. I'm in Tony Khan's head, rent free. Know what's going on in there. So, if you guys want the scoop, you know where to come to, at Mimi Burris on Twitter. However, like I said, I'm really looking forward to where they're going to be going with this match. So this is probably one of my favorite segments of the night. And last but not least, guys, we got our main event, which was the TNT champion Miro versus Sammy Guevara for the title, obviously. And I'm going to be real with you guys. This match, to me, didn't hit the heights I thought it would. I mean, there were some great spots. We can talk about that Spanish fly that was like mouth open, mind-blowing, incredible. And the fact that Sammy Guevara flawlessly, just teleported over the turnbuckle onto Miro and just landed beautifully, I thought. It just looked like an amazing spot. And, some great spots for Miro, too, just playing with the crowd, stepping on Sammy Guevara's face outside of the ring, slamming it in the back of his head into the steel post. Some really good spots in this match. It just felt like something was missing. A bunch of great suplexes and all this stuff. And obviously the end of the match being the GTH, that big, Sammy Guevara, I did not see that being able to happen. Sammy Guevara being able to lift Miro up like that. But hit him with the GTH, hit him with the 630 or 940 or 870 or something. Just a lot of flips in the air and that senton. And got the pinfall. And he is our new AEW TNT champion. Yeah, I think I like the result of this match a lot more than the match itself. I don't know what it was. It's similar to, I guess, just Darby Allin as a whole, guys. Something didn't click for me here. I don't know, maybe the heat segment wasn't long enough. Maybe they didn't get enough time. Maybe they got too much time. Maybe the chemistry just wasn't good. I'd really love to hear some of your guys' thoughts on this, because, I can't find exactly where something went wrong for me here, but I wasn't enveloped in the match, if that makes any sense, and with some really good action. So I don't know what I was, maybe I was just in a mood. I don't know. So I'd really love to hear your guys' thoughts. Like I mentioned really quickly, you can tweet me at Mimi Burris. Love being able to talk about this stuff with you guys. And want to make a quick thank you and shout out to all you guys who pointed me out in all the little segments and when the camera panned over to us and my shocked faces during last night's Grand Slam and Dark and Rampage and all that stuff. So I appreciate it. Again, all of you who tune into the WWE podcast, whether it's just my show, whether it's not just my show, maybe it's the first time ever listening to my show. I really appreciate it. It still blows me away that you guys take time out of your day to listen to my voice talk about professional wrestling. I can't thank you enough for your support. So I do quickly want to mention that. And speaking of sentimental, it was a very nice sentimental moment having Fuego del Sol celebrate with Sammy Guevara at the end of the night, winning the TNT title and the confetti raining down, and just a nice way to go off the air. And obviously to honor John Huber, Brody Lee, TNT championship will always be synonymous with that guy. So overall, guys, I thought this was a good Dynamite. I mean, it wasn't greatest of all time at all, but there were some good matches on here, some nice moments, and a lot of just a lot of setup for what's coming next, obviously, and I'm really looking forward to that Serena Deeb Hikaru Shida match. I'm looking forward to that triple threat women's match between Jade Cargill, Thunder Rosa, and Nyla Rose, obviously. I'm looking forward to that 8-man tag. I'm looking forward to Brian Danielson. I'll get it one day, guys. Brian Danielson versus Nick freaking Jackson. That's going to be incredible. There's a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe, and it's It's a great time to be a fan of AEW, and it's a great time to be watching Dynamite and Rampage. So if for some reason you don't watch the show and you just tune in here, get your ass to watching the show, because it's pretty incredible. So with all that being said, guys, I will talk to you next time.